All right. Well, thanks. This is good. The reason I wanted to talk about your monthly numbers is that in addition to knowing these numbers on a weekly basis, knowing what you're finishing up and having a total for your month is a really critical part of this business. This is the toughest market that we've ever been in. Let's just acknowledge it and decide what we're going to do with that information, because you have two choices. You can be a victim, four choices, I guess. You can be a victim, a pessimist, an optimist, a realist, or a warrior. And a victim sits back and says, this sucks. This sucks. I can't believe this is happening to me. And this sucks. I've lost that deal. I lost that realtor. I can't get appointments, all that stuff. That's what a victim does. A pessimist says, this sucks, and I don't think this is going to work. That's the next level. An optimist is like, oh, this will get better. It's going to turn around. May 10th, rates are going to get great. It's going to all be great. The realist looks at what they have, looks around and says, this is what's going on. This is where we are. What are we going to do? And a warrior is the one who puts the plan together and says, let's go. We're entering the third period of the year. We got the last 4 months of the year. You can totally be set up because this industry, and I'm going to forward you guys an interview that was done by this coaching company that I've been working with. Amir Syed interviewed Shayla Gifford. It's a name that you might recognize. She's become a little more noticeable on social media recently. Been with Guild for a long time. I met her in Phoenix a few months ago. Super cool chick. Big producer, she's a she doesn't, I don't think she produces anymore, but, and just the interview was a recognition of, I'm going to forward you the interview. It's about an hour long. You can speed it up and listen to it in about 35 or 40 minutes and just put the speed up higher. She talked about how this is the toughest market because it's not just higher rates, it's no inventory. When you have no inventory, but rates are low, you can still do refis. When rates are high, you're not doing any refinance business. When there's no inventory, there's nothing to buy, and it's a double-edged sword. And so the industry, I posted something the other day about how many realtors, how many loan officers were in the business and how many have left so far. And and we're still in a market where we know that we need to get rid of some more people because there's just too many real estate agents and too many loan officers chasing too few transactions. It's what happened if you go back and read the book Shift from Dan Keller during the mortgage meltdown and the Great Recession. People were really afraid to buy houses then. Realtors were really struggling. Lenders did okay because rates went down at the end of 2008, and we were able to ride out the rest of 2008 and 9 and 10 with a lower rate environment. So there were plenty of refinance or a decent amount of refinance opportunities. It wasn't like 2020, 2021. And we know that that's what has to happen. And if you're going to choose to stay in this business, this is the point of her podcast, of this interview. If you're going to choose to stay in this business, you have to decide right now that it isn't about being a great technical loan officer. We all are good at, everybody knows. I mean, newer people, you're learning how to be a great loan officer because that's a big part of this job, is learning how to solve people's problems. And we all like that, right? Like it makes us feel good when we figure out a way to do something people didn't know how to do. And like what Jay did with that deal where, you like turned him into a customer with like going, he's going to take whatever the $25,000 seller credit. And it's fun to figure out ways to help people do something that they didn't think they could do. That's a cool part of the business. That's not your job. That's your second job. Your first job has always been rainmaking. It's lead gen. It's always been that. And until you accept that and recognize that this is a sales job first, this is going to continue to be a struggle. And that's it. It's simple. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a sales job. I forgot. We all forgot because none of us had to be great salespeople in 2020 and 2021. We just didn't, right? Because there were plenty of opportunities coming our way. And so the answer, and she points it out in this book, the answer to this problem that we find ourselves in is the book Fanatical Prospecting. It's just deciding like, I got to prospect more. I got to talk to more people and I got to do it every day. And it doesn't matter what's happening. I just got to keep moving forward and I need to know more people. More people need to know me. And that's the solution. The reason I wanted to know your average number or the monthly numbers is I want you to have this awareness that if you're trying to close whatever your number is, 4 or 5 or 6, you used 5 to 6 deals a month. If that's what you're trying to do, you're going to earn over $250,000 a year if that's what you're doing, right? So you're going to earn over $250,000. Oh my God, if that's what you're doing. And in order to do that, her numbers, she worked backwards from this. You need to issue at least 8 pre-approvals a month from real referrals, not internet leads, not picking on you, Jessica, but not those types of leads. Like the lead where the referral is like, hey, I need you to talk to Christine about getting pre-approved for a loan. It's that kind of a referral, or a client in your database like, oh, hey, we're going to move, right? Or, hey, I got your name from the Simon family and you did a loan for them and I want to get pre-approved for a mortgage. Those kinds of referrals you need to get. So in order to get that number based on our typical conversion ratios, it matched up perfectly with what she was saying, that about 33% of your leads become pre-approved buyers. If that's the number, because those are our credit pull, that's about our credit pull average, right? So once somebody goes to a lead to a credit pull, we typically close about 30-ish% of the credit pull numbers that we do. So you get 6 leads a week, 25 a month, just to round it up, convert at least 2 per week to full pre-approved buyers, or 8 pre-approved buyers per month, which is a 33% lead to pre-approval ratio. Work backwards from your numbers right now, and you'll know the answer to what it is you need to do based on what you want to try to accomplish. So if your numbers, I want to close 5 loans a month, just work backwards from that number and say, okay, so if I want 5, how many pre-approved buyers? We used to say, and I don't know if this number is still holding up, I've always told people, if you want to close 5 loans a month, you better lock 6 or 7, because there's always going to be fallout. Always, 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 always. It's part of our business. It doesn't mean that you won't do the loan for them. You're just not going to do it for them this month because they're going to back out for whatever reason, right? Or it's going to push into the next month. That's always been the challenge of our business, is that we're always working in the future. Today, we're working for what's going to happen in the next 30, 60, and 90 days. It is less and less. I think that's where it's easy to get hung up, because when the deals are just flowing, we forget that this is a lead generation business. My job is to make it rain. That's your job. That's your number one job. And we forget that when they're just rolling in. It's easy to, Giuseppe and I've talked about this. Like, I think you went a year or two like going, dude, I didn't prospect any new realtors, because there were so many opportunities coming your way that it's easy to just go like, oh, this is on autopilot. I don't have to do that. It's not on autopilot today. And everybody that decided to jump into this business, the number of licensed loan originators created this situation that we find ourselves in. The number of realtors, realtors were selling houses. I think, Chris, you were telling me that you met with a realtor a couple of weeks ago or a week ago who she knew a real estate agent that made $400,000 in 2020 or 2021. She made like $200,000 last year, and she's getting out of the business this year because she doesn't have any business. And like, that's crazy. That's crazy that somebody had that many opportunities. And so, was she really committed to the business, or was she just an opportunist that she took advantage of what was happening in the marketplace? Deciding that you're going to be in this business long-term means you got to make that commitment. And knowing that monthly number, I want you all to look at your monthly number and just go like, okay, well, how many leads did I get? And then keep working backwards from the lead number. How many leads did I get? Okay, well, how many people do I think are referring me leads? What are they doing? And if this is what I'm going to get from the number of people that I think are my partners, I need more partners. It's really simple. I just need more partners. And that doesn't mean that you're going to ignore the partners that you got, but we're just not in a time, we're not in a season in our business right now in 2023. We're not in a season where we can say, I got all the partners I need. We're just not. And every loan officer that is struggling with this problem is going to make a decision to either stay in the business and commit and go and just keep going, or they're going to go, yeah, I'm not going to do this. I got to do something else. Or I'll just do this part-time, and I'm going to go I need to go get a full-time job so that I can keep doing this. And those are the choices that we've made. But those are the people that my experience is those people never last. The ones that decide to do it part-time. Because they're picking off deals left, they pick off 5 or 6 deals a year. You could have done 2 or 3 of them, right? So those are the people that we need to have go. So that's my question. And then, so the next question is, who are you currently targeting? How big is your target realtor? How big is your target partner list? if it's just real estate agents, or if it's real estate agents and builders. And Jay, you talked about credit unions. How many people are on your list that you're targeting? And what is your targeting plan? It's really, we can work back. I'll meet with any one of you one-on-one. We can set up to work the plan to decide like, okay, yeah, this is how I want to do it. The next level of this is accountability. I'll hold you accountable to anything that you want me to hold you accountable to, but accountability only works if you're willing to be held accountable. If you're willing to have to pay a penalty for not doing something that you've committed to doing. We all have to pay. We have to pay. There's two kinds of pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. I want to pay. Which one weighs less? I think, or which one hurts less? That's the pain of discipline. Hurts way less. Hurts way less. Always has. I've been asking myself this question every day. So I'm doing two things. I haven't been struggling getting up, but when I was on my motorcycle ride, I wasn't getting up at 4:45 in the morning. And when I get back to Denver and I got to get back at 4:45, the alarm goes off. The first thing out of my mind, every morning I want to turn the alarm off and turn back over and go to sleep every morning. And every morning I've been saying to myself, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'm getting up because I just don't want to have that bleed into any other area of my life. So you can do this yourself. And that's what I want everybody to do. So anything that you want me to help you with as far as a business plan is concerned for the rest of this year, I'm excited to help you with it. We can win in this market because this is not how everybody feels. Everybody doesn't feel this way. Everybody doesn't go like, dude, there's more opportunities. I'm going to go get them, because there is more opportunities and you can go get them. But you just have to be ready to do it. You have to have a plan. You have to work the plan, and it's not that complicated. Any comments, any questions, anything that anybody wants to add? Love to hear it. Nothing? Dude, that was an impassioned.
So one good way, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, because I'm on my earbuds. One way that I got inspired to call realtors is I went to the top of mind dashboard and just saw who's like reading the emails. I don't know if it's like legit that they are reading the emails, but I think they are. So I just like, if they've opened like 2 or 3 different emails, I put them on my list to call that day. And I'm like, well, they're getting a benefit from me, so they probably want to hear from me. And I've had some great conversations, just educating them about different pieces. So I don't know. That's one way I've been inspired to reach out to realtors that I haven't talked to in a while. So
right on. Right on. If you had a relationship, if you thought you had a relationship with somebody and you haven't talked to them in a while because they haven't referred you, does it sound familiar? Because I used to do it, right? Like, well, if I hadn't gotten any leads from in a long time, I didn't call them. I didn't call check on them. Was there, because you're like, oh, something's wrong. And I was like, dude, that's the biggest mistake in the world, is not paying attention to them. And don't call to find out, hey, what's going on? How come you haven't referred me anything? Unless, you see them doing a lot of business and then there's something to find out. But what are you doing to really add value and help them? What are you, because there's a ton of things that you have at your disposal that will help, right? Most of them don't know how to write 2-1 buy down offers, right? They're that simple example. None of them have well, not none of them. They have, do they know you have a doctor program? Have you talked to everybody and said like, hey, dude, I have a doctor program, 100% financing, no MI up to $1 million. Let's meet and let's put a plan together to strategize going after some medical people in your database or in ours, right? Like, who do you know that works in it? Like, there's a ton of ways that you can add value to them, because they're scared too. They're just as scared as you are. And that's the opportunity. They're freaking out. You can be the light at the end of the tunnel and have this same conversation with them. Like, so what are you doing? How many, I still think one of the best ideas that we ever heard, Giuseppe did this for a while, I don't know if you do anything like it anymore, is calling all the A's in your database one week, all the B's the next week, with the, last name starts with A, last name starts with B, the C's, checking in. What a great idea to share with real estate agents. Like, how often do you contact the people in your database just to see what they're doing and talk to them about housing, right? Like, so there's so many ways that you can add that value. These things, the realtors don't get this stuff. The top tier do, but the middle tier of real estate agents don't get this kind of information. And it's super powerful for them. They don't know how to go out and do this. You can help. Anybody else? All right.
I have one more thing that I'm doing, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. But I kind of position myself more as like a sales coach with the agents that I work with, and that's kind of one of the value props that I talk about with them in our first meeting about helping their business grow. So I don't really have a good idea of what they need to do on their side to grow their business outside of really what I see them do. So I'm going to take the Buffini course because that's super popular with realtors. And I'm going to start selling myself as a Buffini coach, or that I've done that course, and see how that goes as helping, like, as a sales coach within what they're doing. Because we really don't know, other than, doing events with them or whatever, what's going to help them grow their business. And I think if you can learn what they're doing a little bit better, you'll have better conversations about how you can help them that's different than other lenders.
I was actually in the Buffini coaching program before I knew about all the mortgage coaching programs that were out there. And it's solid. The other one that I would recommend for the same type of deal is Ninja Selling.
Yeah.
Because the Ninja Selling system is it's not the same, but it's the same concept of, having a plan and working the plan.
When you can't go out there and say, oh, I'm going to help you grow your business when you don't truly understand what a realtor does to grow their business.
Exactly.
Outside
That's
of
a
what
great
we see on
point.
the lenders.
Well, and I took that Buffini course as a realtor.
Yeah.
And what they provide for you is a flyer that you personalize every single month and a thank you note every single month. They send all that to you every month. Here's the flyer for this month. Here's the thank you note for this month. And they give you 100. So they're really promoting 100, send out 100 every single month to whoever your database is. So it's
Gotcha.
intimidating on one hand when I was doing it because they start to pile up. Because if I didn't send out 100, it's like, and then, you open your front door and you got another 100 on your front porch. So it really does help you push, but that's a great idea. I think, Christine, to be able to connect with your realtors on the same level.
Yeah, because every other lender is like, oh, I can help you grow and I'll do this with you, but like we don't really understand what they do day to day to get their leads. And I think if we had a better understanding of how you could actually help with that or what they're doing, I can help coach it better. And I think it would position you differently in the market compared to other lenders. So we'll see how it goes.
Right on. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Well, let's have a kick-ass day, everyone. Okay. High energy, because your energy shows up, right? So have some walk-up music, play some music that pumps you up, gets you excited before you get on the phone and start making calls, because your energy is transferable. All right. Let's have an awesome day, everyone. Thanks.